Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be doing a comparison video between the iPhone 5S and the iPhone SE. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video and let's get into it. Okay, so the iPhone 5S was released in 2013, whereas the iPhone SE was released in 2016. So there is a pretty wide age gap between the two phones, and as you know, technology grows very quickly, so there's a pretty big difference. I did do a video on whether or not the iPhone 5S is worth it in 2016, and I also did a video like that on the iPhone SE, so if you want to go check that out, definitely go in the link in the description box below or on the I up top if you want to go check out that video. Okay, so let's start with the storage. The iPhone 5S is available in 16GB, 32GB and 64GB, and the iPhone SE is available in 32GB and 64GB, but when it was originally released, the iPhone SE was also available in 16GB. The only way to really tell apart whether a person has the iPhone 5S and the iPhone SE is if you really look closely at the badge where it says iPhone SE, but mostly you can see the difference on whether or not the person has maybe a rose gold iPhone SE, since the iPhone 5S doesn't have a rose gold option. Both of these phones have 4-inch LED backlit widescreen multi-touch displays, and that is 640 by 1136 pixels. Both of these phones are great for people with small hands, since you can reach all four corners of the screen easily, and it's just for people who prefer small phones compared to bigger phones. The iPhone SE has 2 GB RAM, whereas the iPhone 5S has 1 GB of RAM, and as for the chips, the iPhone SE has an A9 chip with an M9 coprocessor, and the iPhone 5S has an A7 chip with an M9 coprocessor. Sadly, not one of these phones have 3D touch, but on iOS 11, if you swipe up to the control center, you will see that there is an option just to long press, and that will act as a 3D touch. These phones do have Touch ID luckily, but it has the first generation, which is a bit slower than the second generation. And for those of you who are wondering, both of these phones do have headphone jacks. Okay, so now for one of the most important aspects is the cameras. On the iPhone 5S, the camera has 8 megapixels with an f2.2 aperture, and the iPhone SE has a 12 megapixel camera with an f2.2 aperture. Okay, so now for the video quality. With the iPhone SE you can get up to 4K video with 30 frames per second, and for the iPhone 5S you can get up to 1080p video with 30 frames per second, so relatively good video quality. Now for the front-facing cameras, both of these are not that good in comparison to today's front-facing cameras like selfie cameras. So both phones have a 1.2 megapixel camera with an f2.4 aperture, and both of these shoot videos for up to 720p. Okay, so now with all of those technical definitions out of the way, basically a wrap up of the video is the iPhone SE does do better than the iPhone 5S, and that's kind of self-explanatory based on the year gap that the phones were released. Both of them have the same body, so size isn't really a difference at all. The screens are the same, and both of them are pretty the same on build quality, but yeah, it's mostly on the speed where there is a difference, since the one has 1 gig and the one has 2 gigs of RAM. Cameras are different on the back cameras, but not that much different. Front-facing cameras are the same, both have headphone jacks, but still the iPhone SE does outrank the iPhone 5S. So both of these are great for people with small hands, like I said, and you can easily reach all four corners of the screen. I would just recommend buying the iPhone SE if you have the money, but both of these phones are on the cheaper side. Now, not very much cheap, but I would really recommend going to look for the second-hand prices of the phones, since you can get that for a very good price. I really do like the way that iOS 11 works on the iPhone SE. I haven't really had time to test that out on an iPhone 5S, but I'm sure both do great, and I did a video on how iOS 11 works with the iPhone SE if you want to go check that out, seeing as though it doesn't have 3D touch and all those features. So if you want to go check that out, that will also be in the description box below. But those are all my points on the comparison between the iPhone 5S and the iPhone SE, but it's up to you and just what your budget is to buy these phones, and this is great to step into the Apple ecosystem if you don't want to pay that much money on the newest flagship phone. These phones are great for just testing Apple out. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give the video a big thumbs up. Comment down below what you think of the comparison and just what are your initial thoughts. And if you subscribe, I would really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Be weird and be proud of it. Love you guys so much. Bye!